Welcome back to PYQ series of modern history. So in this video we will be solving the modern history questions of the year 2022. So 2020-2021 ನಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ questions ಇತ್ತು, around 9 to 10. But if you see 22, 23, 24 ಇಲ್ಲಿ questions decrease ಆಗಿದೆ for around 3 to 5. So we never know when good number of questions could be asked or when less number of questions could be asked. The basic thing that we can do is to capitalize on the easy questions that have been asked. So in this video we will be doing the same. So ಕೆಲವು questions ನಾನು reading ಅಂತ solve ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, that is memory based question or easy questions, and I'll be using purple ink to solve questions where we can do guesswork even with little or no knowledge of it. So let us begin the discussion on the video. So first question, see 1919 Act, we know what it is and we have studied about diarchy also. So where the subjects were divided into reserved list and into transferred subjects, right? So in this question, the Government of India Act 1919, the functions of provincial government were divided into reserved and transferred subjects. So which of the following were treated as reserved subjects? So all we know is 1990 Act ಅಲ್ಲಿ diarchy ittu, transferred subjects ittu, reserved subjects ittu. So transferred subjects would be dealt with Council of Ministers by being responsible to the House, and the reserved subjects would be decided by the Governor General or the Viceroy with his Council of Ministers, with his council. So reserved ಮತ್ತೆ transferred subjects ಇದೆ. Reserved subjects Viceroy is keeping it to himself. So reserved subjects ಅಲ್ಲಿ which are the following subjects which will fall under it? So just think, British Viceroy, he would try to keep the most important functions under him and give the lesser important functions as a token representation to transferred subjects or Council of Ministers because they were responsible. So ಈ ಐಡಿಯಾಲಜಿನ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು let us look at the options. Justice, local self government, land revenue, police. If you had to choose among this, if you wanted to keep more power under you or the important powers under you, which are the subjects which you would keep under you as being Viceroy? Land revenue was very important because you need finance for everything, for defense, for military, for doing anything you want finance. And police, because you want to curb law and order issues from the Indians because they will be revolting for independence. So 3 ಮತ್ತೆ 4 are the first thing which need to come to our mind. So 3 ಮತ್ತೆ 4. So confusion should have been between B and C. Now C among 1 and 2. If you had to choose one option among 1 and 2, which is that you would choose? Administration of justice ಜಾಸ್ತಿ important ಇತ್ತ, local self government ಜಾಸ್ತಿ important ಇತ್ತ? Local self government is improving the rural infrastructure, taking care of the disprivileged section, be it SC, ST and so on. Administration of justice would include making laws or even including the working of the judiciary. So ಯಾವ್ದು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ important ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ? Definitely it is administration of justice. So this function the Viceroy would have kept it under himself. So the answer to this question is 1, 3 and 4. So ಈ ತರ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ exam level we could have got this question as correct. So now that they have mentioned about these subjects, in the subsequent years we could expect a question where directly they are giving the options as the subjects and again asking which of them would come under transferred subjects. ಇಲ್ಲಿ reserve ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ so transferred ಕೂಡ ಕೇಳಬಹುದು. So let us just have a brief look. See, reserved subject: land revenue, justice, police, criminal tribes. Printing press was very important because it is how, it was through press how the national consciousness arose. So ಇದು important ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. Likewise industrial disputes and so on. Important functions reserved subjects ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Few of the subjects you might feel to be less important also which are under reserved, but that's fine. Most of them important ಇದೆ, ಅಷ್ಟು ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರೋ ಸಾಕು. Now look at transferred subjects. Education, health, library, museum, which did not affect their power directly, those were given as a token representation to Council of Ministers through transferred subjects. See, veterinary department, fisheries, religious, charity, all these things, it did not affect them much. So ಇದನ್ನ transferred ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು. So we could expect a question from transfer subjects in the subsequent year. So that is why I wanted to discuss. Let us see the second question. See, this is a knowledge based question. Basic knowledge ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು. Ghadar party started in US using Indians who were settled there. So it was a revolutionary movement. It wanted to bring an armed revolt in India. So Gadar party, which of the following were actively associated? This word has been given to prevent just associated. Just associated andre maybe more number of persons irtittu. Actively associated andre only who have been in this organization for more time or contributed more, only those have to be included in this category. Gadar party, one rough idea, when was it established? Around 1913, 1914, 13-14 timeline ಅಲ್ಲಿ. Barinda Kumar Ghosh and Aurobindo Ghosh, when we study the revolutionary moments, two phases ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, one is of 1920s and one is of 1930s. So 1920s ಅಲ್ಲಿ revolutionary acts ಆಗಿತ್ತಲ್ಲ, under it there is one thing called Delhi conspiracy case. So if you remember, see these are basics which we need to know. Delhi conspiracy case ಅಲ್ಲಿ Barinda Kumar Ghosh ಮತ್ತೆ Aurobindo Ghosh, Barinda Kumar Ghosh, he was been arrested, he was been jailed for that. So Barinda Kumar Ghosh and Delhi conspiracy, if you have a rough idea, 1910, 1912, 13 ಈ timeline ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗಿರೋದು. So Barinda Kumar Ghosh was in Delhi conspiracy case, he was been arrested. So there is less chance that he would be involved in Gadar party, which came after he got arrested. So one is not the option. And even if you did not know, another way of thinking is Rash Bihari Bose, if you had studied, you would study him under Gadar party. So 3 is another option. In this way you could have got answer D to be correct. So ಇದು ಯಾವುದು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ ರಾಜ್ ಬಿಹಾರಿ ಬೋಸ್ ಗದರ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ಅಂತ ಬಂದಾಗ ರಾಜ್ ಬಿಹಾರಿ ಬೋಸ್ ನೇಮ್ you would have studied. So in that sense the confusion should have been between only 1 and 3. And if you had to choose between 1 and 3, then you think of Barinda Kumar Ghosh, that he was been arrested in a Delhi conspiracy case. Delhi conspiracy case ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ you wouldn't find his name again and again in spectrum or in the source that you are studying, because he was not doing any other big activities at that point of time. So in that sense 3 would have been the answer. You could have easily got the answer in this. So adre basics ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು, ಗದರ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು, ಆಮೇಲೆ who got associated, ಈ names ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು, right? So static syllabus regarding Gadar party. Gadar party was a revolutionary group which wanted to secure India's independence. Fine. Important personality is Lala Hardyalal. Other important personalities is Raja Mahendra Pratap and Barkatullah. Though these names are not that important, but if we are able to remember it, it's good, because in subsequent years they could ask the members. So there was Lala Hardyalal, Taraknath Das and so on person who was associated with it, and they were working in North America. Along with this Rash Bihari Bose name na kuda add madkoli, right? So simple static question, again a question on Cripps mission. See, in last year paper 2021, if you remember 8th August 1942, which of the following happened? Cripps mission, Quit India resolution. Yadr madhye confusion aithe. Answer enittu? Quit India resolution ittu. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, Cripps mission was not the answer. So they picked the option which is not the answer and formulated question on it in the next year. ಇದೇ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. ಈ 2025 ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಯಾವ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ becomes very important for the year 2026 prelims, right? You got what I said with reference to proposal of Cripps mission of 1942. So which of the following statements are correct? The Constituent Assembly would have members nominated by provincial assemblies and princely states. See, this is wrong, because nomination happened only from the princely states, and from the provincial assemblies they had to be elected. Congress time and again wanted elected members to come both from provincial assemblies and princely states, but princely states elected members na tarake agilla, so it was always nomination. 1947 ವರೆಗೂ ಎಲ್ಲೇ princely states ಬಂದ್ರು, it is nominated members, not elected members. Look at option 2. Any province which is not prepared to accept the new constitution would have the right to sign a separate agreement with the Britain regarding its future. This is correct, because Cripps mission provided a provision to have a separate constitution or even secede from the Indian Union. This was one of the options which were given on a Cripps mission, which was under heavy criticism by the Congress, because it took Cripps mission to be dividing India by giving this option. So answer to this question is correct alva. So B is the correct answer. See, Cripps mission, quick look, dominant status, provisions of Cripps mission, dominant status, not complete independence, and constant assembly. It would have elected members from assemblies and nominated members from princely states, and they had the right to secede. So this was probably the only one mission which explicitly mentioned this right to secede for the provinces. And if you secede from the provinces, then you would have the right to form a new constitution, and you would be free to deal your matters with the British based on consultation. So the new constitution making body and the British government could negotiate a treaty and sort out matters arising out of transfer of powers to Indian hands. Similarly, the power of the viceroy was to be intact. So these were the provisions of Cripps mission which the Congress did not agree, because it was trying to divide by providing this important provision of right to secede. And also another thing is, the provisions, if they had to secede, what had to be done, those provisions were clearly mentioned in Cripps mission. But once they secede, if they again had to join back, those provisions, how they had to do it, that was not very clear in Cripps mission. That was another criticism of it. So let us look at the next question. Okay, a knowledge based question. Let us see. Dutch established their factories and warehouses on eastern coast on lands granted by Gajapati rulers and Dutch establishment. Okay. Alfonso de Albuquerque captured Goa from Bijapur of Sultanate. See, the static part, Alfonso de Albuquerque is a famous personality and we should know this. Portuguese, it is talking of Portuguese settled in Goa, captured Goa from Bijapur Sultanate, does make sense. English East India Company established a factory on Madras on a plot of land leased from representative of Vijayanagara Empire. 2 na ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು, 1 ಮತ್ತೆ 3 ಹೇಳ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಷ್ಟ. So timeline becomes very, very important to answer this question. See, Dutch establishment happened after 1600. First English ಬಂದ್ರು, Captain William Hawkins in 1600, and Dutch establishment of factory happened around 1602, I guess. So ಇದು 1600 ಆಮೇಲೆ ಆಗಿರೋದು. What about the Gajapati rulers? By 1550, the rule of Gajapati rulers, most of the ruling of the Gajapati rulers had already ended by 1550. So how can Dutch take a piece of land granted by Gajapati rulers when they themselves do not hold power? So this becomes wrong. Gajapati ruler, their rule itself got ended by 1550 and Dutch establishment happened after 1600. So this was a made up thing made to confuse you, and you would be able to answer only if you knew the timeline. One wrong anta gottidre answer direct agi bartittu, because 1 ಮತ್ತೆ 3 ಮಧ್ಯ ಯಾವ್ದು wrong ಯಾವ್ದು correct ಅಂತ we have to think. English East India Company did establish a factory in Madras based on the land leased by representative of Vijayanagara Empire. This is correct, because if you see Vijayanagara rulers, they had appointed chieftains. They were called Nayakas. So one such Nayaka called Dharmala Venkatapati Nayaka. This person, he provided the land to British in Madras to establish its factory. And like I said, Gajapati rulers, they ruled over parts of Kalinga. So idu ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು. Gajapati rulers ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಷ್ಟೇ ಅಲ್ಲ, timeline ಮತ್ತೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ರೂಲ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ರೆ it is very good to eliminate options. Dutch East India Company was formed in 1602, and if you see, most of Gajapati ruling, it had been finished by 1541. So that's why option 1 was wrong. Few other facts of Alfonso de Albuquerque. One important fact is he banned the practice of sati around 1525 or 1550 time allene. He had banned the practice of sati, which was a very, very progressive step at that point of time, because in India sati regulation 1805 I guess ಆ ಟೈಮ್ ಲೈನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿದ್ದು, ಅಥವಾ 1820s ಟೈಮ್ ಲೈನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿದ್ದು. ಬಟ್ ಲುಕ್ ಎಟ್ Alfonso de Albuquerque, he took step in 16th century to abolish sati. So this in itself could be formulated as a question. So ಇದು ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು. So like I said, 2022 hardly there are about 4 questions from modern history, and this was the discussion about it. Thank you for watching.